Welcome to ThinkTom.com. I, of course, am Tom, and I am in Orlando at the National Association of Realtors Convention, and I happen to pick up Billion Dollar Agent Lessons Learned by Steve Kantor. Steve, welcome.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good.
This is a phenomenal book, and this is a book that essentially follows agents who have done $1 billion worth of sales or are on their way to doing $1 billion worth of sales. I love this book. I had to meet Steve. Thanks for talking to me.
Sure.
Now, one of the things in this book, and I try and get maybe 3 or 4 things from each business book that I read. I don't try and do everything, but this book asks the agents, if you could go back in time, what would you have loved to have learned? And what would you apply initially in your career? I love that, and you get some amazing information out of that book, and you talk to them all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What were some of the, well, first of all, tell us about yourself.
Sure. Steve Kantor, my business is Best Agent Business, and I previously owned a software company that I sold a few years ago.
Yeah.
I took a year off, started a couple of companies. About 2 years ago, started Best Agent Business to provide part-time virtual assistants to top agents.
Yeah.
And the $1 Billion Agent book was actually an accident. My company wrote the book because we couldn't find it. There was no book on the market that was a compilation of case studies of the top agents.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we got some amazing information here, essentially telling, you know, right from the top. We're talking about people. We're not learning from somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. With these, with the agents that Steve has interviewed, we are learning about the best. And so, but this is not your primary business. You yourself admitted in the book you're not actually a real estate agent, but this is
correct. We're coming at it sort of from an independent standpoint. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a real estate agent. My previous company, I grew to maybe 25 staff and $2 million in sales. But it's similar to a top agent who usually is at about $1 million to $5 million GCI. But in terms of the book, one of the key lessons, if I had to sum it up, was to focus on your unique talents. Basically, what these people did is they spent preceding amounts of time focusing on their unique talents.
Yeah.
So they delegated everything else off their plate. They discovered what was their unique talent, and they spent more time on it.
See, you should have been a real estate agent.
No, it's okay. I have a similar profile, you know, just DI, the whole entrepreneur, the whole ADHD. I have probably a similar personality type to a top agent, and that's why I'm simpatico and I can talk to these guys who are netting basically $1 million a year or so.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I interviewed 70 basically, plus some coaches like Everitt, Ken Goodfellow, Floyd Whitman, and Howard Britton, etc.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And that would be, if there was one tip that you were going to give to agents, that would be it? To really work on your uniqueness, and not necessarily do it other people.
If you said, okay, sum up the 300-page book in one lesson, it would be
put them on the spot.
Discover what your unique talent is, what you love to do, what you have a passion for doing. Basically fills you up and gives you energy when you do it. I'll give you a clue. Top agents, what it is probably the listing presentation and winning the listing. Because if they're doing it right, they're making about $1,000 to $2,000 an hour. That's anybody taking a listing, that's about what it is. Most of these guys' listings, they spend 3 hours max, 1-2 hours on listing presentation, maybe an hour on contract negotiation. Everything else before, after, middle, seller, feedback, etc. is handled by their staff. So focus on your unique talent and spend more hours each week doing it. Most entrepreneurs only spend maybe 20% of their time on their unique talent. These men and women have gotten up to 70 to 80% of their time.
Fabulous. The $1 Billion Agent, Lessons Learned, Steve Kantor, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. Great. Thanks for logging on to ThinkTom.com.